Hello friends, welcome to my channel Power BI Skills. Through this channel, I share with my viewers a lot of tips, tricks, and best practices in Power BI in order to develop stunning dashboards. In today's video, I'm going to share with you an important trick of creating a Gantt chart visual with the help of our basic level metrics visual in Power BI. This is my second video on Gantt chart visual. In one of my previous video, I had covered how to create a Gantt chart visual with the help of a standard bar chart visual in Power BI. In case you have not gone through that video, then I would strongly recommend you to check out that video. The link of that video is appearing on your screen on the I button. You can click on this link and watch that video. In today's video, I'll be using the same dataset example which I had used my previous Gantt chart video. But before we proceed further, I would request you to please like and share my video in case you believe that you are enhancing your Power BI knowledge through these videos. In case you are new to this channel, then I would request you to subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you will get notifications to all my future videos. Your like and subscribe would motivate me to make more such useful contents for my viewers. Now let's get started. So this is the same example dataset we have used in our previous video on Gantt chart visual. Here we have project name, which is ERP implementation, various milestones of the project. Then we have the current status on various project milestones start and end date, and the duration of the milestone. Let's upload this dataset in Power BI. I have uploaded my example dataset in Power BI. You can see the data table is appearing on the right hand side. Now as a step 1, I'll create a calendar table with the help of DAX function. For that I'll go to modeling. I'll click on write a DAX expression to create a new table. Friends, I have already covered in detail about how to create a standard calendar table and the fiscal year calendar table with the help of DAX function in my previous video. In case you want to learn how to create these fiscal year and the calendar table, you can refer to that video. You can see the link of the video on your screen. So in this case, I will write a DAX function, name this measure as calendar table, and here I would write a DAX function calendar, and here I would be writing the start date and end date. My start date would be 1st January 2023. So this would be 2023, then first month and first day. Similarly, I would be writing the end date as well. Same DAX date DAX function. Then end date would be 31st December 2023, 12/31. I will hit enter. And if I go to my table view, I can see all my dates are appearing. The entire date calendar is appearing here. I'll add few more columns in my calendar table. To add additional columns, I will write a DAX function add columns. I'll shift enter. I'll first enter a column name, which is year, and then I will use year DAX function year, and the above mentioned date measure which we have used, that I will mention here. I would also need a month number, so I will give the column name as month number, and here I'll be using the DAX function month. I would also need days number. So we know that we have 365 days in a year. For that, I would be using my DAX function date def. Here I would be mentioning date DAX function. So that would be first day of the year, which would be 2023, then first month and first day. And day 2 would be the measure for date, the running date which we had calculated. And then we would be mentioning the interval, which is day. And I would also add, because I need uh, running dates, so I will add 1 and I will hit enter. So you can see we have date, we have year, we have month number, and we have day number as well, which is up till 365. So I'll go back to my example data set. I will change the name of this table to project table. I would be needing the start date, the day number, and the end date day number as well here in the project table. For that, I will create a new column and I'll name this column as start date number. So I'll bring the date number from the calendar table where we have calculated the series of day number starting from 1st January till 31st of December. To bring the day number from the calendar table, I'll be using a DAX function lookup value. So in lookup value, I would be needing a day number. First, I'll select the day number. Then we have a common identifier which is a date. So calendar table date. And then we have a project table start date. I will hit enter. So now we have a date number for start date. For example, 2nd June 2023 would be 153rd day of the year. Similarly, 4th June 2023 would be 155th day of the year. So this is the date number which we have calculated. Similarly, we will be calculating the end date number as well. I'll follow the same steps. I will go to new column. I will name this column as end date number and I will use same lookup value. Give the reference of the date number in the calendar table. Then I'll give the reference of the calendar table date and now give the reference of the project table end date. Now I have a start date number and end date number. My project table is ready. Now I'll go to report view and start creating my visual. I will drag the project name, project milestone, status, start date and end date. But this is appearing in table and I need this in matrix, so I will change this to matrix. Here you can see we have milestone name is appearing in columns, but I need everything in rows, so I will remove this from columns and I will go to add data and here I will add project milestone in rows and I'll bring this project milestone to second row and you can see the start date and end date is appearing in hierarchy. But I don't need the date hierarchy here. I just need a simple start date and end date. I'll right click on start date and click on the start date option. Similarly, I'll right click on end date and select the end date. And now I will drill down the data. So I will start drill down till the end. And now I will go to view and I will go to format. I will go to row header. In options, I do not need a stepped layout, so I will disable the step layout, and I do not need plus minus icon which is appearing here, so I will disable the plus minus icon as well. So now we have data appearing in the right format in rows. So now we have to add data in columns. I would be needing running dates in columns. So I will go to column, add data, and I will pick the date from the calendar table. Now you can see that moment I pick the date from the calendar table, this is showing the error. This is because my project table and calendar table are not linked. So first we'll have to build a relationship between the calendar table and the project table. For that I'll have to go to model view. So we have date common, start date, end date, and the date which is common in these two tables. I will link my calendar table date with the start date. So now you can see we have a relationship built between these two tables. Now if I go back to my report view, you can see the column is showing the dates. And if I go to my calendar table and date, it is appearing in dd/mmm, which is a right format. In case you want to change the format, so you can change it accordingly. You can go to calendar table, select date, and you can manually change. Let's say instead of mmm, you want only mm. So dd/mm. So this would change accordingly. You can see the month number is appearing. If you need the month name, so you would have to select date from the calendar table. Then you have to add another M here and hit enter. And then you can see date and month name is appearing. Okay, so now we have rows and columns appearing properly in the matrix. Now we have to add values, which is actually the status bar in the values. So to add bar in the values, we'll have to create a new measure. To create a new measure, I will go to project table, click on three dots and click on new measure. I will name this measure as status bar. I will shift enter, create a variable, name this variable as project start, and here I will use calculate function, and here I'll be using a minimum of my project table start date number. So I will give the reference of project table and then start date number, the number which we had calculated through lookup value with the calendar table. So this would be my project start, and similarly I'll create another variable and I will name this variable as project end. So this would be calculate, and in this case we'll use maximum, and here I would be using my end date number. So the end date number which we had calculated. Shift enter. I'll create another variable and I will name this variable as project period. So this would be minimum. So here I'll be using my calendar table days number. If the minimum of calendar days day number should be greater than equal to my project start, and my maximum of calendar table day number should be less than equal to my project end variable. So this is the duration or number of days in between the project start and end dates. So now we have these three variables. I will shift enter and I will return. And here I will write my if function. If the project period condition satisfies, then the answer would be 1, else nothing. So I will hit enter. Now I will go to my matrix. I will go to data. In values, I will select my status bar. So you can see 1 is appearing in all the dates. So let me fix this. First, I think we'll have to remove the subtotals which are appearing in the matrix. So to remove subtotal, I'll go to format. I will go to row subtotal. I will turn off subtotal. Similarly, the column subtotal. Now, because number 1 should appearing only in the period which is in between start date and end date, which is 8 June till 25th of June. I'll go back to my model view. So in relation, I will remove the relation. I will go back to my report view. So now you can see number 1 is appearing only in the project milestone start date and end date. So whatever period which is in between start date and end date, the project milestone is appearing. Now the another thing is that project milestone is not appearing in the correct sequence. So I have to do the sorting basis the project milestone. So for that I'll have to do the custom sorting. I've covered custom sorting in one of my previous video. In case you want to learn how to do the custom sorting, you can refer to that video. To do the custom sorting, I will create a new table. I'll name this column project milestone. And then the other column would be my sort order. I'll add my first milestone, which would be resource alignment and hiring. And the sort order would be 1. Similarly, my second milestone would be data validation and cleanup. So this would be sort order 2. Now I have created the table. I will name this as sort table and I will load this. Now you can see the sort table is appearing in the data. Now I'll have to go to my table view. I'll select sort table. I'll select project milestone, and here I will select sort by column. I will select the sort order. Now project milestone is sorted in the sort order mentioned. I'll go to my report view. I will select my matrix, and here I will uh, go to data, and I will remove the project milestone which I picked from the project table. So this I would remove from rows data, and I will rather pick the project milestone from the sort table data. And I'll bring this project milestone to second row. So now you can see the sequence is right. Resource alignment and hiring, data validation and cleanup, migration, ERP customization, and so on. Now the most important part, I'll have to replace these ones with bars. For that, I'll first select my matrix. I will go to format. I will go down to cell elements. Here, I will do the conditional formatting. I will enable background color. I will enable font color. So now you can see we have bars appearing basis each and every project milestone. But I want to have a different color for each project milestone basis the status for uh, each project milestone. For example, all the completed milestones should appear in green, all delayed milestones should appear in red, and in progress should appear in yellow, and not started should be in gray or blue. To achieve this, I'll have to modify my status bar measure. I will add one more variable here, and I will name this variable as project status. So this would be calculate max my project table and then the status. Now earlier we had used a single identifier 1 for each milestone and each status, whether the milestone status was completed or it was in progress, delayed, everywhere like we had used the identifier 1. But now, if we want to have a different color for different milestone status, we have to have a different identifier for different status. For that, I will go back to my status bar measure, and here I will be removing the if function, and I will use switch true function. And here I want to have a different identifier for different status. So here I will be mentioning the combination of project period and the milestone status. So if my project period and my milestone status, or I would say the project status, is equal to completed. If this is true, then should be identifier should be 1. If my project period and my project status is equal to in progress, if this is true, then my identifier would be 2. If my project period and project status is equal to delayed. Then my identifier would be 3. If my project period, okay, I'll have to use comma. If my project period and project status is equal to not started, then my identifier would be 4. I will hit enter. Now you can see for completed status we are having identifier 1. For in progress we are having identifier 2. For delayed we are having identifier 3, and for not started we are having identifier 4. Now I'll simply go to format. I will again go to my cell elements. I will enable background color. Here I would go to conditional formatting FX. From the format style I will select rules, and here if value is equal to 1 and this 1 is in number, then 1 is linked with a milestone status completed. For completed I need a green color. Similarly I will add new rule. If my value is equal to 2, 2 identifier denotes in progress status. So in progress would be represented by yellow color. I will add my new rule, rule 3. If the identifier is 3 in number, 3 is delayed. Delayed would be represented by red color. And similarly, we have identifier 4. This is for not started, and this would be represented by blue color. I will hit OK. Now you can see we have completed milestones are appearing in green, in progress are appearing in yellow, delayed are appearing in red, and not started are appearing in blue. Now I'll have to remove my identifier number 1, 2, 3, 4 from these bars. For that I will enable font color. I'll go to FX. I'll follow the same process here as well. Go to rules from format style. If value is equal to 1, which is completed status, then the output would be green, or I would say font color would be green. For identifier is equal to 4, font color would be blue. Now you can see the font color is same, and now the numbers are hidden, it's not appearing. So one more thing I can do, I can add a slicer as well in this visual. So let me just add a slicer for the date range, and I will add data, and from the calendar I would select the date. So this is a date range slicer which is appearing here, and I can reduce this to, let's say, from 1st June, and I will keep this till, let's say, end of July, which is 31st of July. And I will format this, go to size and style, enable the visual borders, and I would need the rounded corner. I'll do the same for my matrix as well. I will enable the visual border and rounded corner as well. For slicer, let me just reduce the size. Now you can see if I reduce the date range, let me reduce this to, let's say, 15th of June. You can see the Gantt chart would appear for the period only from 15 June till the July month. Similarly, if I can increase, you will see the bars are appearing starting from June. So friends, this is all about the Gantt chart which we have created with the help of our simple matrix visual. I hope you have learned how to create the Gantt chart with the matrix visual. In case you have any questions or doubt relating to what we have covered in this video, then please send your queries in the comment field and I will revert on this as soon as possible. In case you want me to make a video on any particular topic, you can share your suggestions in the comments field and I'll try to make these videos. Thanks for watching friends. Bye and take care.